All right, y'all. This is yours truly. Let me make sure I get my computer working clearly. Make sure life is the way it's supposed to be. 1 second. Turn the Bluetooth on. And let's pair my headset to the Bluetooth. Or it should be tearing in a second.
But so I'm now connected to the Bluetooth on my headset, on my iPhone, and on my iPad. And I want to basically just talk about today, particularly, is really today, to December 22nd, 2025, 7:01 p.m. on night. And I had my dinner, medication, and I'm now going to bed. I am right now reviewing my results from my exam. There's still some blood issues with my blood, which I don't know what the cause of it is. They call it non-acute anemia, non-acute anemia, which of course I'm taking warfarin, which is a blood thinner, and I don't know if warfarin's causing it or not, but we do know one thing, a thing called anemia that I never thought I ever had any of the disease I have battling. No one in the family right now, they say they've had it on my mother, that's living on my dad's side. On my mother's side, that's living, I don't know. But the bottom line is, um, it doesn't really matter. It's about my life, not theirs. Amen. So, as far as I'm concerned, um, it doesn't really matter. You know, you have your life, you have your body, you have to live for you. You can't worry about, other folks and live for them, but you can live for you. Now, as it relates personally to what's going on, um, overall, I'm really happy that got most of the things pretty prepared to move on the 29th. I got my, of course, food. I'm right now in the process of still working on networking for a place. Worst case scenario, if I got to sleep in my car, I'll sleep in my car. Worst case scenario, if I got to stay at a shelter, I'll stay at a shelter. God's got to make a way. I know He does. I put in the work. I put in the time. I've asked and re-asked and re-asked and continue to re-ask. And thank God that people that may care will care. And God will bring those people around. In the meantime, though, I'm really, like I said, happy about the blood test, following the results of the doctor, doing the things to celebrate this Christmas. In 2 days, it'll be Christmas. Today's the 22nd. And so 23rd is tomorrow, the 25th will be on Thursday. Can you believe it? Yeah, 20th to 25th will be on Thursday. We're already um, going into Tuesday. So it means we really got Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. And I'm really grateful to celebrate Christmas and just be proud of it. Now it's focus time. It's time to do the 6 week study for this exam. And I'm going to put that time in. I got 2 weeks really. I got to the 29th, for 7 days here, so one more week here, and God willing, and my car is available. So now I got to do is I got to contact fraternity brothers and see anybody can go over and help me get my vehicle. I pretty much don't know why Shay even came to take my car again. I did everything in my power to get that car clean and air changed and stuff like that. She decided to put gas in the car, and I didn't ask her to do that because honestly, how she treated me was so disrespectful with her words and her actions that you can't make it up by kissing my butt. Bottom line is, I had lost everything in my house. You took the best of what I got. You have it. You paid $300 off of 10,000 or maybe 20,000 worth of dollars. Enjoy my stuff. Enjoy having it. Enjoy it. Okay. You get it. You get it. You know, you kiddo people do stuff like that. They take advantage of other folks, and those that take advantage of people at their worst, they get paid. They get justice. So I'm very proud because if someone's at the bottom, I'm not going to take advantage of them. If someone's at their bottom, I'm never going to say to them, "Well, I paid this for it, therefore it's mine." Even though I knew you were in the hospital, even though I knew you were sick, even though I knew you were going through all kind of physical problems. My prayer that she pays with her sickness, that she gets the judgment on her life like she put on what she did me. And the good news about life is it does come back. Karma does come back on you. How you treat somebody will come back on you. That's why God said, treat other people like you would want to be treated fairly, squarely, justly. So, the tragic obesity that she's under, the overeating that she's under, the sedentary job that she's got, um, what does she have to show for it? A home that's pretty much isolated, that she's isolated in, a relationship with one brother, and pretty much all of her other siblings, she has none. The remaining family members that are aunts, uncles, and aunties are pretty much gone. They're alive, but she's distanced themselves from them, which I can understand why. I've had to do that to my aunties as well, and not to all of them. But the fact of the matter is, if I say when, but if I get back on top, which I pray I do, I always go visit those people on my terms, meaning I won't stay at your house. I will be at a hotel. There will always be an arm length distance between me and them for the fact that I won't forget what you did. And I don't think that forgiveness means that you forget. Because if that's the case, then why does God say we will have to give an account for everything that we've done in the day of great white throne judgment? Exactly. If we're giving an account for what we did to God or for God or with God throughout our lives at the last day, then that means He remembers what you did. So it's really important for us to think about how we treat people. Now, the biggest thing I said earlier was the aspect of um, dealing with the concept with issues of my spending one time so many years with one girl. The big lesson I've learned from this past experience was don't spend all your time with one girl. I'm sorry. I don't really think I'm ever going to get married because if that woman has got the problems that Shay Marie Downing had, and you're 50 years old and you haven't gone to therapy and you're not going to therapy and you're not working on those issues of your life, but you want me in your life, you ain't getting me because I'm going to therapy. I'm studying myself. I'm studying other couples. I'm studying other relationships. Prime example, I got a sister. I got a brother. I got a sister and a brother. I'm brothers sisters. I can truly say now one of my father's children has a great relationship with their spouses. They've all, myself included, we've all made bad choices with our relationships. And the one common factor of all of these things is that our father made bad relationships with all of our mothers because he went from woman to woman to woman to woman to woman to woman to woman making children that he never took care of. So why would you expect those kids to grow up and do the same, do better? They're not, unless they get into God's word and they transform their mind. And most of my brothers and sisters are not. So we know the outcome. Either they're going to be like me and become a psychologist slash minister and deal with social issues of our family dynamic, or they just going to experience the same hell that our father had and just continue to perpetuate the cycle. So it's one of the hardest things because it's easy for you and to judge and get mad when someone tells you the truth. It's really hard to take that truth and face yourself in the mirror and say to yourself, you're right, I need to work on me. And I think the maturest people in the world can do that, and the immature can't. So when it came to my ex, having to deal with the concept of her saying me all these things I never can say what she's not. Prime example. It became one of those things in your life where you just kind of say, man, I've known you for 14 years and this pattern's been repetitive so many damn times. I'm done. I'm tired of it. And so I got to the point after being in the hospital and going through. all of the problems. I went to the hospital. You know what Shay made me feel like when I was in the hospital? First off, at Grady, she made me feel like I didn't matter. And she kept always saying statements to me like, "You don't love me, you don't love me, you don't love me." Girlfriend, you don't even know how to love. So why would you know want love when you don't even know how to give love? You know, the Bible says clearly that for those that want love, they must give love. But she's atheist. So why would you even know what that meant? And so when I didn't really understood that she was atheist and I heard her belief was not that way, I said, no wonder it made sense. It made so much sense that I was the one that was doing, spending, traveling, paying for everything, doing these things out of my pocket that I could dump on other women. But I chose you, not really realizing because of my age, my ignorance, my age, and my, I hate to say it, my fear of being alone. I didn't want to date 15 girls because I wish I should have, because I may have had a better chance to have been married by now than I am right this moment. So, so it really became an issue because of the fact that I really thought, you know what, that my sickness was going to make us learn to forgive and work out issues and just start anew. And I got to the point where I was like, I'm done. I'm done starting it. So, prime example was when I first got to this place. I'm with these strangers. I don't know these strangers from a hole in the wall. I'm just a stranger, just like I was when I first got here, just like I'll be when I leave. But I did try as a stranger to befriend the individuals that I saw because I have a heart. But some people don't want to be befriended, and they get what they get. But then other people in that exact same time were just kind of takers and just more or less users. And so, like, I remember going to and from Kroger, and I have Kroger card, and Kroger lets me order healthy food, so I can order, for my blood. And of course, at this place, the food is horrible. It's the same, really sad. She picks the worst stuff. She can buy so many things. They give her thousands of dollars a month to buy. Because I know why. Because the government, Department of Children and Family Services, and there's over 33. See, I think it's 300,000 personal care homes in the government United States. 300,000 personal care homes. So there's over 360 million people. So that's not a lot of homes. But each home has the same rules. It's just a different name. And if I wanted to get a home tomorrow, I could get one like I have a license by the state, and then I get nurses to take to care of the people, and I just get a house and da da da. But you got to have a heart to be in this kind of world because it's a very, very difficult world. You're dealing with sick folks, and you should give sick folks the ability to be healthier. They're already sick because of what they did to themselves or what has been done due to no fault of their own. But you don't want to just feed bad food to people that are not healthy. That doesn't help the body. So when I noticed that I was getting high sodium foods because I battled blood pressure, and I knew that I was hearing my ears ring. I said, "Man, I've been dealing with this for like 20 some years." So I knew it was because I ate a lot of salty foods. I mean, our black community tons of salty foods. So that put me in the hospital. I had my blood pressure up at 190 over 170, 180 over 160. It was always like 100 and almost 200, 200 over 190 one time, to the point where I ran to Grady because it was so high and I was scared I was going to stroke. They said, "We're going to admit you, bro. We'll give you medication right now." And they did, they admitted me. And they gave me some meds, and then I went right back to my hospital, my PCP, and she just basically said, "Okay, take this. We're gonna increase it to this and increase it." So she was playing this titration game with me, this game of increasing the doses here and changing the dosage over there and adding from 5 pills to 7 pills, from 7 pills to 8 pills. It was just nothing but medication, 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 medication. What the real reason was obesity, 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 obesity. I didn't lose that weight. Okay. So what do you think I did? And of course, still everybody else does. And unfortunately, it caught up with me. It caught up with me on October of last year. And as I told the lady that I spoke to today from GVRA, I put myself in that position. And this lady's fat herself, and she looked at me in the camera and she was like, wow, you honestly telling the truth? Because I was. I was like, listen, man, the reason why I'm here is because was, I was 280 pounds. She looked at me like, I would have never thought that. Well, you know. And she had to be about 230, 240, and I pray for her. I really do. Because it's a big problem across the whole United States, not just in Georgia. So as I ended up going through the nightmare of sitting at Harborview at night in the same position like I'm in right now, looking up at the ceiling, got my TV on, I got my laptop on my chest, and I'm just changing and just doing it. Yeah, you deserve that. That's exactly what you deserve too. That's exactly what you deserve. Talk about the gallery. You deserve that call. The guy's judging too. Anyway, the main point I'm making is that I remember being in that place and having the wherewithal to say, God, what's wrong, man? What can I do? What can I do? To get out of this place, right? Because I'm sitting in this place and it's two-person rooms. We're on this long white hallway and we got the doors open because they don't want the doors to stay closed because the stinkness of the body smells so bad. And these nurses, they got to come in every 3 or 4 hours to change her gowns or her diapers, and they also got to give us medication and food. So you got 3 meals a day, plus two medications per day, plus water, maybe 4 times a day. And then you got a diaper change twice a day. So you got all those things happening every day. So every day there'll be a different, different CNA, different nurse, different LPN. That's 3 different positions: LPN, CNA, nurse. Nurse being the highest, of course. And so after being in that environment from October, November, December, January, February, March, and April, I was excited to leave. I was scared to leave at the same time. I really was. I've been there so long that I lost my ability to walk, and I did not know if I could ever stand again. And I was so weak that I could barely even get out of bed to put my feet on the ground and stand up. I'm still not standing up perfectly like I used to, you know. And of course, the biggest reason why is because lack of physical therapy. Because of physical therapy, which I reminds me, um, I got to get my physical therapy on lock for next year. Advance. So you need to start that now. Every time I set a physical therapist appointment, I end up canceling it. And now that I'm moving, I just don't know if I should set one up right now. But I don't have the knowledge I need to know. I just can't set up appointments to keep canceling. I gotta follow through. So that's going on the back burner for now. And so I said, God, this is ridiculous. I can't be dealing with this kind of crap. I want to get out of here. So there is something get on my feet. Me staying with this little walker to my side. Matter of fact, the exact walker I'm looking at right here was the exact walker I got from Harborview. And they gave it to me for free. Yeah, man, they gave me a wheelchair for free and a walker for free. And they gave me these weights for free. And there was a black man who was in his 60s. He would always come by. He was from Africa. And he'd be like, okay, Henry, do some push-ups, man. I do my bench press. I do a little bench press in the bed because I lost all my chest muscle. I lost all my leg. I lost every muscle pretty much. And so I got all those things with me now. Amen. So I'm like, I look at Christmas as a phenomenal time because I got last year's memories or last year's nightmare because last year Christmas was a nightmare. I was basically dying and didn't know it. And now I know I had anemia. I had severe anemia. And anemia is blood, red blood. It's like bone marrow. It can be cancerous. It can be non-cancerous. It's like I think precursor to like lymphoma and all kinds of type of cancers and stuff. So it's like whoa. And I didn't understand what was going on in my body, but I just knew something was right. I wasn't feeling right. And then of course that's why made the decision to call the doctor, call 911 first, and they made the decision to take me into North Side because I wanted a second opinion. And I've been to Grady, but Grady is considered the poor hospital. Northside, Piedmont, they're called the rich hospitals. Most white patients go there, most black go to Grady. So I said, I'm going to go to this wonderful, white hospital because they're going to do all the tests and they're going to find out what's really going on. And they did all the tests and it cost about $270,000 per hour. 270. That's like 1 year salary. Okay? And so, and I'm like, how do I pay that back, right? Because I had no job. I'm gonna pay that back. But I don't want to get, but it's what it is. And after they do all those exams, they test on me, they came back with the same thing, anemia, and that you got to get blood from blood. Well, what I get blood for? Well, because my own blood wasn't making enough blood. That somehow I was losing blood in my own body. It's a scary feeling. All right, it's a scary feeling. All right. So um, I haven't figured out what the cause of it is yet. I have gone into ChatGPT and taken all my test results, even the ones I took last Wednesday. And in 4 weeks, I'll take another batch of blood. And it gets to the point now, they're taking so much blood in my arm that they can't find a vein. Like, I got to figure out what veins are because it's like they need the blood. They need the blood. So I'm just praying to God that I can get some of the scar tissue that's in these veins free so that the blood can flow. And because I've had so many needles and IVs and stuff in my body for so long, it's just crazy. And so, as I sit back and think about that, I just want to say Merry Christmas to all y'all out there. Just to say Merry Christmas because in the midst of all that, I'm still married. I'm still married. I'm still grateful. I'm still thankful. Okay, but it doesn't stop there. It doesn't stop there. I met my sister, half sister, which is unfortunate and tragic in the sense that she's 28 years old, and I met her for the very first time. I mean, except for 28 years, I never had the opportunity to be in her life. She's a grown woman now. And how you build a bridge with somebody that you haven't met them, and at 28 will be 30 in 2 years. I don't know. So I think helping us says, help me study this out loud. It's a lot of emotions, a lot of feelings, especially on this Christmas. Yeah, yes. So as I sit back and just think about this, and my body's trying to doze off. Time to be going down. I've been up since about 6 a.m. I think it's about 7, so I'm 12 hours straight, which is good. I'm really proud of myself. My goal is to get up at 4 a.m. in the morning every morning, which I do. And then I go watch sunrise at about 7:45. And then we start the day. And then it's history, you know. And so tomorrow, hopefully, get a good sunrise again. And we'll see a wonderful, wonderful sunrise or sunset. Sometimes I get both, sometimes I don't. Like tonight, we got no sunset because it was cloudy. But we got no sunrise either. So it's kind of a miss on both things, to be true honest with you. No sunrise or sunset. Because say, red clouds cloudy. Well, yesterday I gotta go. Mm, yeah. I gotta go. Yeah, yes, I did. I got good. So really happy, really, really thankful, really thankful. Now, I think that's all I can talk about right now. I don't feel like I got anything else. My brain is like tired. I just want to get some rest. So we'll chop up in the morning, right? Cool. My love, God's peace.